Hi, I'm joined by Director of Public Works, Craig Simino. We're at the College Gardens Park and Pond Project. Craig, thanks for joining me today.
Nice to be here, Bridget.
So there's a lot going on this summer in the city as it pertains to Public Works construction projects. Is that right?
That's correct. We have a lot of projects going on this summer. Summer's our normal big construction season.
Well, can you explain what's happening behind us at this construction site right now?
Sure. This is, we're at the College Gardens Park, and we're turning this site into a stormwater management pond, a functioning stormwater management pond, and at the same time enhancing the park. So they'll come together as one project where the pond will function, as we said, a stormwater management pond. Plus, integrated to that will be a lot of features like a bridge, a pathway, and some other recreation amenities around it. Right now, the contractor is actively engaged. You can see the pond construction going on. And we originally had a July completion date, but we had some very bad weather in this spring, and we've hit some bedrock here. So we had a little delay. We anticipate this project being done near the end of September, basically, where we'll be able to open up a lot of the features. And then a little landscaping, a little punch work, we call it, later on. In November and December, it will be really done. But essentially, at the end of September, we're hoping to really open up.
Now, I know that this project in particular involved a lot of community engagement. Can you talk a little bit about that?
It did. We really had a committee formed from the College Gardens area of residents to work with us on what amenities should go in here, and Department of Recreation and Parks. This is actually a joint project with the Department of Recreation and Parks together and that committee. And we did a lot of outreach to get resident input as to exactly what to go in here. So we think this is a big success story, and we're all waiting to see the final product.
We'll be sure to cover it once the park reopens, and hopefully good weather will be on our side.
Yes.
Why don't we talk a little bit about the Pervious Concrete projects that have been happening around the city?
We have one in particular. It's an alleyway on Montgomery Avenue, basically between Manatee and Laird Street, where we're trying to put Pervious Concrete on an alleyway. And Pervious Concrete, for those who don't know, is special concrete. It has more gaps in it, more voids, where basically a lot of the rainwater can permeate through the concrete and drain off rather than just running off like normal. It's a little more environmentally friendly, and so we decided to try it in an alleyway. It's one of those areas where it's been tried in parking lots and other areas, and we're really going a little further than a lot of municipalities and trying it in an alleyway. That's ongoing now, and really we expect probably around September 1 to be able to open traffic up on that, perhaps sooner. We have some drainage to do, and the concrete's curing, so we'll see how that goes. But it's actively underway. The concrete's actually placed, and we're waiting for, like I said, stormwater and a few other things to be done on that project.
Let's move on to water. Craig, how are we looking in terms of the water main rehab project?
Well, as you know, Bridget, we're involved in a 20-year program to rehabilitate water main pipes in the city, and the goal is to get our fire flow back up to areas where we're having problems, get that back up to normal. We have a lot of water breaks to reduce them and to improve water quality. And right now we have two groups of projects going on. One of them is under construction now. It's 4 streets, Rockland Avenue, Broadwood Drive, Ashley Avenue, North Stone Street, and we're expecting completion there in November this year. A second group of them are going out to bid, and later on be coming after that. But that's the one that we're actively engaged on now. The residents should see a little bit of interruption when we start the project and end with their water service. They'll see a bypass system where their water is being provided above ground. And then they'll see, of course, the normal interruption of digging up a water main and replacing it.
What about the water meter replacement program?
Water meter replacement program, we're in our final phase of our residential program right now. All those residents who have not had their meters replaced, it's going on now. We expect completion of that August 31st or so. And so that's well underway. The residents may not even see it happening because they make sure the water meter's not flowing. They go in there. It takes 15 or 20 minutes. They pop it in, and they leave a little notice to the residents saying that they've done it, and they may see a little bit of brown water on occasion, and we tell them what to do with that. But basically, a lot of residents don't even see it happening, but it's to replace those meters so we can, one, remotely read them and not have to do it manually, and secondly, make sure our meters read accurately.
And on water, Craig, can you talk a little bit about the city's water quality report just came out recently? How are we looking in terms of the quality of our water in the city?
As a lot of people probably know, we received a notice of violation recently. And so what we did to be proactive and to make sure we were taking all measures we needed to, we formed a new water quality group. And so the water quality group is looking at a lot of things that we're doing. We're really trying to manage this on a day-to-day basis. The violation we had was in trihalomethanes and was just slightly above the limit. We're going out there to make sure everything is in order. And in fact, we are down below the threshold right now, so it was a very short issue. We have to manage everything that's going on, our tank, our water life in the tank, our water circulation in our pipes. It all affects what happens in the water system.
I see. And what about in terms of the storm sewer rehab projects?
Right, we have a project that's replacing some metal culvert pipes. These pipes run a lot underneath roadways. A lot of times they're invisible to residents. What's happened with these metal culverts is they're deteriorating, and so we're going in there and putting a high-strength concrete liner in these pipes. And we have 11 locations in the city: West Goody Drive, Research, Dover, Twin Brook Parkway. The list goes on, but those are some of the locations. And so residents really shouldn't see a lot of interruption. They'll be mostly under the roadways where the culverts are. But that is going on, and we expect completion about mid-September.
Okay. And the pump station upgrade. Talk to me a little bit about that.
We have a pump station, a sanitary pump station for sanitary waste on North Horners. And basically what we're doing there is putting a dedicated backup pump, bypass pump in that facility. We're required by Maryland Department of Environment to provide uninterrupted power at our sanitary pumping stations. For obvious reasons, if we have a problem, we want to make sure the pump station continuously works so we don't have an overflow or violation. And so what we decided is, instead of putting just a generator there, we would actually put a gas-operated bypass pump there. So it would serve to back up not only the power, it would back up a pump failure. So it provides double protection, plus because it's gas, it's more environmentally friendly, and it's less noisy. The noise level is a little less for the residents. In addition to that, we have a sidewalk relocation, and we're doing a little landscaping around it to make it blend in a little bit more with the neighborhood.
Sidewalks, I know that during the summertime, sidewalk replacement paving happens a lot. Can you explain that?
We have an aggressive program now to install new sidewalks where they're not already. We have a sidewalk prioritization process we go through, and we have actually money that comes from our speed camera program that helps fund these projects. And right now we're working on 4 in particular: Broadwood Road on both sides of the street between Fletcher in Baltimore, East Goody between Rothgab and Taft, Evans Street near Great Falls, and Van Buren and Dawson. So 4 projects we're working on right now. We're getting ready to do outreach and everything, and they'll be continuing late summer into the fall.
Okay, and then in terms of, I know that there's an Illuminated Crosswalk project on Chapman.
Right, there's an Illuminated Crosswalk on Chapman that is not in good repair, and we're going to replace that crosswalk. We expect that to happen late August and September. Another one is the Beale Avenue sidewalk. It's an individual project we have in our CIP. We've done 2 of the 3 phases, and the 3rd phase is getting ready to go late this summer. So that's another big sidewalk project.
Now, if residents are seeing construction or have questions about anything happening in their neighborhoods, what should they do?
If the residents see something, I would direct them to our website first. There is an area of the neighborhood advisories they can check to see what the project is about, and they give a point of contact for somebody to talk to, a project manager usually, or a construction inspector who they can talk to get specific questions answered.
One other question for you, Craig, and that is regarding Verizon Fios coming to the city. What's going on there?
Well, that is not actually the city's project. However, it will affect a lot of residents, particularly in the areas where there is underground electric and underground cable service now. When that happens, Verizon has to go in and underground their Fios, and that is going on in the city. They're very actively engaged in that. And what should the residents see out there? Basically, a lot of times they work in the right-of-way, that is the city's land, but sometimes they work in what we call a PUE, a public utility easement. Generally, the public utility easement exists about 10 foot behind the city's sidewalk. Technically, it's on residents' property, but the utility companies have this easement where they have the right to go in there, and that's a lot of the places they work in there. Generally, the residents will receive a notice that they're coming. They'll see markings on the ground, and then they'll see the workers coming in there, and after they're done, they'll repair and seed the area when they're done to restore it.
Okay. Well, it sounds like there's a lot going on in your department this summer, and we appreciate you giving us the time to check in with you about all these projects.
Thank you, Bridget. Glad to be here.